Okay, well, good evening, everyone. It is 11:20 p.m. New York time, and it is Friday, December 21st, 2018. Hope everybody's doing well and getting ready for a great holiday season wherever you are listening to this in the world or in the United States. But Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you're celebrating. I hope you have a great end of the year and look forward to a great 2019. So I wanted to just make this video. Next week on the economic calendar is very, very light, as you can imagine, with the holiday. In fact, here it is on Forex Factory. And you can see right here, there's really nothing going on. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, there's absolutely nothing listed. Of course, Tuesday's Christmas, and Monday being Christmas Eve. And then there's really nothing left here. So there's not going to be anything really fundamentally driving the markets next week, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're very quiet. But it's not always the case just because it's a holiday week. The market sometimes just continues on in current trends or corrections, but it probably will be overall a quiet week in the market. But there are some things going on that are worth pointing out that might be good once things heat back up again after next week. So I'm going to just review these, and these are really just from an Elliott wave standpoint. I'm not really looking ahead too much in terms of the calendar, although we can jump ahead here to the first week of January, and again, Monday and Tuesday being holidays. Still a pretty light week, except for Friday, January 4th, with non-farm payroll. But so, anyways, we'll put the economic calendar aside for now. Although, again, this is a key component because there's just really not a lot happening. But let's just go to a few charts here, and just break these down a little bit here. So here is actually I want to start with, no, I guess we'll start with this. This is Euro Aussie. Now, Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi, most of the Euro pairs are pretty well closely correlated, but in particular, Euro Aussie and Euro Kiwi. So this is the weekly chart of the Euro Aussie, and obviously this is a very long time frame. I don't trade it, but I always look at it just for analysis. So here we are on the weekly chart, and you can see I've already put some labels on here. So we have a very clear uptrend here, almost a perfect Elliott wave uptrend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which ended up here. And so now we are in a corrective mood. And so I'm going to, so what I'm looking at now, and this is what I'm looking at potentially what's going to happen with this. So here was that end of that trend we just showed on the weekly. So we're down on the daily now. And so we see this move down also looks like a really clear trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ended here. And now you got this strong move back to the upside. Now, normally I might look at this and say, well, this is the resumption of the uptrend on the weekly chart. It's just this uptrend resuming, and it could be, but the thing is this is a really steep move down. It doesn't look like a correction to me. It looks like a trend, and it has the subdivisions of a nice 5-wave trend. So my thinking on this is that maybe we're looking at like an ABC pattern. So this whole thing will be a giant correction to this uptrend. So after a trend ends, usually have a 3-wave corrective move. In this case would be the A and then the B, and then we'll go down for C. And then after that C ends somewhere down here, then the uptrend would continue. Now again, this is a daily chart, so this is still a very long time frame. And the thing that concerns me about this, if this wave B going up, this purple B going up is very steep. And so if it comes up here and takes out these highs, then it's definitely not a correction. But I have this red arrow in here because I do think that at some point, if this is a correction, this will be ending soon. And so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A. That's this purple A. And then a 3-wave move up, ABC for wave B. And then we'll have a nullify wave move down, which again would probably end somewhere in this area. So I'm going to be curious to see what happens with this. And if this plays out like that, then basically what we have is what we call, basically it's a flat pattern. It's a 5-3-5 we have 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down, or it could be a zigzag too. So we'll see what happens with this. But and then but again, if it as long as, and this is a nice thing about Elliott wave, if it takes out this high right here, or anything more than a few pips, then that's not what this is. And so that's what's nice about Elliott wave. It gives you definite places of ruin where you're wrong. So keep an eye on this, because if this does turn out to be an ABC in the blue, in this aqua color, then this is going to be a substantial move coming to the downside before this larger trend picks up again. Okay, so that's the Euro Aussie. The Euro Kiwi is actually looks pretty similar, just in the opposite direction. So here's the Euro Kiwi. This is the daily chart. You see I have this 5-wave trend down, perfect 5-wave trend down on the daily. And if we drill down a little bit, I'm looking at this being an ABC pattern, but kind of flipping over with the Euro Aussie. So here's the 5 waves down, and then this move up is, I think will be a correction to this downtrend. So it looks like we have a trend in place here. So that's this orange color. So it's not finished yet. 1, 2, 3, probably be in a 4 down to here, this beginning of the 4. Then we'll have a wave 5 up. And then we'll have a wave B. We'll start somewhere up here. It'll go down to maybe around where this purple C is. And then we'll have a C go up and go back somewhere up here. So it'll be A, B, C, which will be a correction to this larger downtrend. So for now, I'm only looking for basically longs on the Euro Kiwi, because even if the only thing you're going to trade is this little wave 5 that's going to go up here on this wave, on this purple wave A going up. You can't see it, it's over here. Yeah, there's the A. So this purple wave A going up is not over. So I'd look for a little bit of a long. Probably will get up to maybe the 50% retracement level, but that's still, on a 12-hour time frame is a lot of pips. So that's still, almost 200 pips. And then we'll have a B wave down and then a C wave up. So look for the Euro Kiwi to correct to the upside for quite some time before we resume potentially a larger downtrend. All right, and let's go quickly to the euro dollar. I know it's a very busy chart here, but again, 1, 2, if I can draw this out, I'll get it so you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here we are on the daily, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have this aqua ABC up. And now we're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. And now we're in another ABC up. So I have this red arrow here because my opinion is that we could be looking at a substantial move to the downside on this pair. Because, and the reason why I say that is because we have this big ABC, this big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then this was that ABC, that first ABC that I showed you. And then we're here with another 5-wave pattern down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is an ABC. This is basically looks like a flat correction. And now you can see it's starting to move back down. And if we come down here and take out these lows, this next move down potentially could be as long as this first move down. So on euro dollar, I'm looking only for shorts. And in fact, I am in this short on my live account from this area. So and I will continue to hold that. So again, this is strictly technical analysis from an Elliott wave standpoint. We're not talking about any of the fundamentals on this. So we'll see what happens there. So that's those three. And, what else did I have here? I want to just show you guys. US Swiss I had. I didn't label it here, but it's labeled on my live chart. But basically, it looks like, we had a 5-wave trend complete on the daily chart. Let's see here. I can get this to update. So it looks like we have a trend here on the daily chart, and then this whole thing down looks like a correction, an ABC correction, which looks like it may have ended because we see this strong candle from today. So I'd be looking to potentially go long on this. I am not right now. I need to see a little more confirmation. If we go to a lower time frame, we'll just stick with the 12-hour. We do have a little overhead trend line right here. So we'll see what happens when it bumps up against here. Do we reverse and continue the correction down? If we break through here and probably take out this high, then I would definitely be looking to go long. So that's the US Swiss. And of course, if the euro dollar is continuing down, as I just showed you a minute ago, then the US Swiss goes the opposite way anyway. So that would confirm an up move for the US Swiss. If the euro dollar is going down, the US Swiss will go up because they move opposite of each other. And last things to show you is there's a lot going on with Kiwi and Aussie pairs. Here's the Aussie Canadian. This is already labeled perfect 5-wave trend up. And now we're correcting down. Now I'm not sure if this correction is over yet. It's very sloppy and choppy, so I'm not going to be in any hurry to go long here. But I would look eventually for a long on the Aussie Canadian and look for that uptrend to continue. But again, I'm not ready to do that yet. This is not a very clear correction. It may not go any further than about where it is now, but I do think it may come down some more. If we measure these waves, this first move down is about 210 pips. So off this high, 210 pips takes us down to, about this area. So this might be potentially a better area to look for this correction to end. So somewhere along here. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Aussie Swiss. Now this one also had a perfect 5-wave trend. All these pairs completed really nice trends. So here's the move up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This again is the daily chart. But look at this move down. Now this is a really deep correction. Now it could just be an ABC. This could just be a really big zigzag ABC correction, but it's very steep and it's very extended. It's approaching the 78.6 retracement, which is not, it's not out of the question. I mean, it could come all the way to 100%, but this is a very deep correction. Now, if we measure these, given that wave A and wave C are usually about the same length, the wave A is 275 pips or so. So if this is the end of the B, we got A, B. So for measuring from here down 275 takes us to, somewhere around here. So we'll see what happens. I think either way, this has got a ways to go. If we drill down a little bit further, perhaps on that chart, we might be able to see some more subdivisions. And I'm sorry for this thing updating. I don't always use this MT5 account. But anyways, so here it is on the 4-hour. 1, 2, 3. I do think this has got more down, so I don't see the end of this trend yet. So, but again, it'll be interesting because to see whether this ends up being a big ABC correction to this uptrend, with the C going down now, and then we continue the uptrend, or what's going on with this. And the reason why is because there's a little bit of conflict with the Aussie yen. Because look at the Aussie yen. Let's zoom out here, the daily. We again basically had a correction, had an uptrend here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now look at, we've just blown right through here. Now, this is more to do with the yen, because you see the yen is strengthened. Pretty much all the pairs with yen have gone down. So this is more about the yen than the Aussie. So you may have to throw this one out because the yen can be very unusual the way these yen pairs move. So I wouldn't necessarily put a lot into this, but this is definitely a wave 3. It's taken out these lows. It's very extended. So this is going to keep going to the downside. So we'll see how far that goes. Yeah, I mean, you could probably go to the weekly chart here and see that, this is probably a downtrend here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll see. But again, it's a yen pair, so it's a little bit hard to make conclusions about yen pairs. Kiwi dollar. A lot of the Kiwi pairs look just like the Aussie pairs. So here's the Kiwi dollar. This is the daily chart. And again, I didn't label this already, but 1, 2, 3, it's labeled on my live account. And again, this looks like a correction down. We'll see how far this goes, and if we're going to be able to eventually take this long again. So it looks like it's possibly in a wave C, but it could also be, a new down move too. So again, if we measure this from an Elliott wave standpoint, that's about 200 pips on the A. So if this is the end of the B, so we have A, B, now we're going down for C. 200 pips takes us, to somewhere down to this area, about there. So it's got a little bit more. If we put a Fibonacci retracement, let's see what that brings us on this downtrend, and that would take us right to the 50%. This horizontal line map lines up with the 50% retracement level. So Kiwi dollar, I'd look for it to come down to about this area and then turn back up. And that also, for those of you that are old support and resistance traders, you can see there's a lot of resistance here turning into support here. So get ready for that. Kiwi Swiss looks pretty much the same. And this broker that I have, this demo account, does not have the Kiwi Swiss. I don't believe. That's why it's not open here. And I don't think it has the Kiwi Canadian either, to be honest with you. And I probably should have looked this up before I did this, but I think I already know that. But anyway, so the Kiwi dollar and the Kiwi Swiss look almost identical, okay, honestly. But again, Kiwi yen, as we looked at the Aussie yen, here's the Kiwi yen, same thing. We've got on the daily chart, this looks pretty much like all the other Kiwi pairs. You had a 5-way move up, but look at this. Look at this. If this is a correction, this is a hell of a correction. I mean, to me, this looks like a trend. So you have a 1, 2, we're in 3 now. Correct up for 4 at some point. Keep going down for 5. So maybe this whole thing will turn into a giant ABC. This will be the A. Then we'll go up for B, and then we'll come down for C, and we'll end up, back down in this area somewhere. So it's a little, but again, it's a yen pair, and so you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt compared to the non-yen pairs like the Kiwi dollar or the Kiwi Swiss or the Kiwi Canadian. So just like we looked at with the Aussie pairs, they all look similar except for the Aussie yen is way out of proportion. But this is because of the strength in the yen. It's causing these to sell off like this. So anyways, guys, that's what I'm looking at going into next week and certainly into early January. These are the pairs I'm looking at. All the Aussie pairs, all the Kiwi pairs, and pretty much those 3 euro pairs in particular, and maybe the US Swiss based on the movement of the euro dollar. So that's what I'm looking at in potential trade setups that could be, obviously they're not going to be trades you're going to just be in and out of one day. There'll be swing trades. That's kind of what I like to do. I like to hold my trades for at least a few days. And if I see something setting up on a long-term time frame, I'm going to hold it for a long time. So anyways, that's it, guys. Hope it was helpful. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave comments. I would appreciate it. Share the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right, guys, have a good night. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and we'll talk to you all in the new year. Thanks.